So back in early 2026, the tech world was just buzzing about this new kind of AI assistant. It was open source, it ran on your own machine, and it promised to be that 24/7 personal sidekick we've all been dreaming of. It actually went by a few different names, but everybody knew it by its mascot, the Space Lobster. Okay, let's dive into this wild story.
And you can just feel the excitement in that quote, right? This perfectly captures the magic that developers and all the early adopters were feeling. The idea that an AI could not only take commands, but actually improve itself just by chatting with it, that felt like the future had literally just arrived, a massive leap forward.
So you have to ask, how did this thing, which eventually became known as OpenClaw, completely take the internet by storm? Well, it was really the perfect storm of powerful features, perfect timing, and this incredibly compelling vision for what a personal AI could be.
This right here, this is why everyone had to have it. First, it runs locally on your machine. That's a huge deal, right? Your data stays with you. It also plugged right into the apps you already use every day, like WhatsApp and Discord. And here's the kicker. It had full system access to read files, run commands, and persistent memory, so it actually learned about you over time. And since it was open source, for developers, it was an absolute playground. And its growth was just insane. It started out as Clawdbot, then it rebranded to Moltbot right around the time this AI-only social network called Moltbook blew up, which just sent it into the stratosphere. I mean, think about this. By February, it has another new name, OpenClaw, and it's already big enough to have its own developer conference, ClawCon in San Francisco. The momentum was just unstoppable.
But you know how this goes. When you move that fast, things get missed. And in this case, what got missed was a massive oversight. The very same features that made OpenClaw so incredibly powerful also created a critical vulnerability, turning this helpful assistant into an absolute security nightmare. And this leads to a pretty scary question, the kind that security researchers at Striker StarLabs started asking themselves. What actually happens when an AI with total access to your computer is left completely unguarded, like leaving the front door wide open? Well, this was their answer. Over 4,500. That's how many exposed OpenClaw instances they found just sitting out there on public IP addresses all over the world. Every single one of them was a wide open door for an attacker. So how did this even happen? It all came down to a single, powerful feature that was really just designed for convenience. It was called the Exec tool. The idea itself was actually pretty cool. You could be out on your phone and send a shell command from WhatsApp, and the AI would execute it on your computer back home. To list some files or run a script. Incredibly useful, right? But here's the fatal flaw, and I do mean fatal. The Exec tool had zero authentication. It didn't check if the command was coming from you or from some random person on the internet. If an attacker found your instance, they could control your computer. Simple as that.
Let me walk you through just how easy this was. An attacker finds your public IP address. That's step one. Step two, they send a really simple command through WhatsApp telling the bot to read its own configuration file. And because there's no security, the system just does it. It sends the file's contents right back to the attacker.
And what's in that file? The jackpot. We're talking your secret API keys for services like OpenAI and Claude. With those, an attacker could rack up huge bills on your accounts, steal other credentials, and even spy on your WhatsApp metadata. It was a complete system takeover, all because of one insecure little tool. So the OpenClaw story is a huge cautionary tale, but it also paved the way for a whole new philosophy of designing AI agents, one where security isn't just a feature, it's the entire foundation. And this brings us to a project named Tris. Tris is built on something they call the Antigravity Protocol. The core idea here is that a personal AI has to be sovereign, which means it answers only to you and local first, with privacy and control baked in from the ground up. It's a direct response to everything that went wrong with those earlier agents. Now, a philosophy like that needs some serious hardware to back it up. A sovereign agent needs a powerful, dedicated home. In the Tris project, this local workstation is known simply as the Beast. And trust me, it lives up to the name. We're talking a rig with dual NVIDIA RTX 5090s with a combined 64 gigs of VRAM. This isn't for calling some cloud API, no. This is for running incredibly powerful models entirely on your own device, making sure nothing ever has to leave your home network. So with two powerful GPUs, the system's whole architecture is designed to act like a brain with two hemispheres. They call it a bicameral neurotopology, which allows the AI to divide up its cognitive work for maximum efficiency.
And here's the key, that division of labor. Think of the first GPU as the left brain. That's the logical core. It handles all the heavy lifting, the reasoning, the coding, running those huge models. The second GPU is the right brain, the parallel core, and it focuses on stuff like understanding images and audio. They work together, but each one is a specialist.
Now, on top of that hardware brain is a three-tiered software architecture, a mind, if you will. At the top, you have the strategist, which handles the high-level why. Below that, the architect figures out the how. And at the base, you have the analyst, which executes about 95% of the day-to-day operations. It's a really structured, hierarchical way of thinking. And this brings us all the way back to security. In a system like Tris, there's just no equivalent to OpenClaw's Exec tool. It doesn't exist. Security isn't some setting you turn on. It's embedded in the architecture itself. By design, there is no single point of failure because all the tasks are distributed across this complex, multi-layered system that is local by default. So the story of the Space Lobster is a critical lesson. As we give these AI agents more and more control over our digital lives, the question is no longer just, what can it do? The real question is, who does it work for? The shift towards these sovereign, local-first agents suggests a future where true digital freedom means owning, not just your data, but owning the very intelligence that acts on it.